Today, Tesla lied to you. Upcoming iPhones are getting expensive, it's crazy. And no RTX 4090 Ti after all. So, Tesla lied to its customers about the true range of its vehicles under the guidance of Elon Musk. According to an anonymous source, Tesla had started to use algorithms about a decade ago, and that would inflate projections at a full charge. Then, once the car reaches 50%, the numbers get a bit ugly. How do you catfish your own customers, Tesla? Just like those amazing first photos they send you, Elon Musk wanted to show how good the range numbers for the Teslas were when fully charged. And instead of taking care of confused customers calling to make sure they're not insane when their car suddenly has less range, Tesla created a diversion team solely focused on cancelling service appointments for customers and displaying a xylophone after cancellation. In all this, Tesla sugarcoated their actions, telling their employees that cancellation of the appointments saved the company about $1,000. Saving $1 billion company $1,000? Come on now. Now, in correct fashion, Tesla hasn't responded to this, but if it's true that they did do this to customers just to save $1, I hope they get fined heavily, like some of these companies. And while they are under investigation over these things, I am genuinely upset. But what do you think about Tesla's actions? Over at Elon's backyard, Tesla is a money-hungry beast. Because after Elon's actions which lost them paying advertisers, the new CEO, or ex-CEO, is giving some advertisers in the US and UK a massive 50% discount. This is a strategic move timed around the Women's World Cup, which should lure in some paying advertisers. But there's a catch. Brands must pay $1,000 in ads in the prior 30 days or $6,000 in the previous 180 days to keep their gold checkmark. We know Twitter's financially struggling, but holding the advertisers' gold checkmarks hostage for money is on another level. Let's see how well that works out. Google is protecting you from stalkers. Android users will soon get notifications if an AirTag or other trackers are following them and can make it play a sound or see its owner's information. However, Google is delaying the rollout of its Find My Device feature until Apple has implemented protection for iOS, and user safety and tracking prevention are a top priority for Android. Both Apple and Google are working together on a specification that would allow devices to avoid malicious use of their tracking networks, but their devices won't be able to work across the OS device. Moving on, OpenAI has failed. The company gave up on a tool that was supposed to tell human writing from AI because it was bad at it. However, it's not giving up on the idea, instead working on a new and more effective provenance techniques for text and ways to detect AI-generated audio or visual content. That would be immensely helpful to have an AI to snitch on its other AI tools that they did it. Seeing AI does have the tie of misinformation, do you think OpenAI's tool will be effective as AI continues to improve? NASA is going nuclear. Apparently, they also saw the Oppenheimer movie. NASA and DARPA will launch a nuclear thermal propulsion system into space as early as 2027 to demonstrate a next-generation propulsion system in space transportation. The goal is to use this thing, which can heat up liquid hydrogen from freezing cold to burning hot in the blink of an eye, and provide more propulsion than chemical rockets. However, the nuclear reactor will launch in cold mode for safety reasons and will not be turned on until it reaches a high orbit. The mission will also test the long-term storage of liquid nitrogen in space and the performance of the reactor and its uranium fuel in zero gravity. However, the project faces regulatory, technical, and ethical hurdles. But do you think this will be good or an accident? Oh, and it also launched its own free streaming platform. If you're liking the news, then please subscribe to stay up to date in the latest tech, Apple, and gaming news. Into the Apple news. The possibility of having a foldable iPhone or iPad is good. Just wait until 2027. According to a market intelligence report, Apple will help boost the affordable market to 100 million shipments by 2027. taking the old sit back and watch, let other companies make the mistakes and then jump in the game with something better than its rivals. The view points to a folding iPad first, which could launch next year, and this would help Apple slowly crease into the market as Samsung stays the dominant figure. But I don't think the folds will release until next year, seeing the Vision Pro is still pending to release and it's faced some drawbacks. But we'll wait and see. What do you think? I'd love to hear the thoughts on whether this would be worth a try for Apple. Have you wondered what the rumored action button will do? Well, according to the new code snippets found in iOS 17 Beta 4, the action button could offer 9 different options that users can customize. You can pause the video to look at them now. But according to new rumors, the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus could have smaller sensors to the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max phones, despite their upgrade to 48 megapixels. The first one claims that the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro Max will retain the same size 48 megapixel sensor as the 14 and the 14 Pro Max. Then, numerous reports, Jeff Pugh and Ming-Chin Kuo say that the two standard iPhone 15 models are set to upgrade to 48 megapixels, just like the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. While the non-Pro phones will receive the 48 non-Pro models will receive the 48 megapixel upgrade, they will continue to have a smaller stacked image sensor than the Pro models. So this is an upgrade, but not so much. So, because Apple wants to push you to buy the better upgrade, and we all know that's not going to be cheap. So get ready to pay $100 more for the 15 Pro and $200 more for the 15 Pro Max. Really? You could buy almost 3 PlayStation 5s for that price. Heck, even a brand new OLED TV. But the Apple fanboys will still buy it. Get ready for the next gen Macs, because Apple suppliers are getting ready for them too. According to DigiTimes, some of Apple suppliers are expected to see sales growth in the third quarter of 2023, as they gear up for their upcoming iPhones and Macs. Earlier this month, Mark Gurman said the first Macs with the M3 chips could launch as early as October. So it would make sense that they would start preparing for these devices. The M3 chips powering the new Macs is yet to be announced. However, it's widely expected to be manufactured on TSMC's 3nm process, giving a significant performance and power efficiency improvements compared to the M2 chips, but built on the 5nm process. We're also expecting the A17 Bionic, also manufactured on the 3nm process, for the iPhone 15 phones, which are getting expensive if you ask me. Let's not forget about the iPad Pros with an OLED, but the M3, and won't come until next year. Moving on, Apple cares about you, because developers will now have to give reasons as to why they need certain Apple APIs before their apps can be listed on the App Store. For example, user defaults, which store the user preferences, now falls under the required reason category. And with the launch of the new OS across all platforms, Apple is taking this seriously, even giving developers warnings if they submit apps using required reason API without specifying its usage. So why should you care? Well, this change is to curb fingerprinting, a method used to track users across different apps and websites, using API calls to gather one's phone information, then use the data to create a unique fingerprint used to identify you across apps or websites, or even potentially selling out your data. Into the gaming news, Nvidia is cancelling the 4090 Ti. So far its existence has only been a rumor, and it looks like Nvidia aren't going through with it. According to a new rumor, it looks like Nvidia hasn't had a reason to create a more powerful 4090 Ti, seeing the 4090 is already a beast in power and price, and is unrivaled by Intel or even AMD, so making it would just be meh. However, a potential flagship from the next generation should utilize a 512-bit memory bus, and if Nvidia were to use GDDR7 memory with the max speed of 32GB per second, such a GPU should result in 2TB per second, so double what the 4090 offers. I guess that's why Nvidia wants to launch the next GPUs in 2025. However, Nvidia is likely to use the fastest G7 memory at launch, and the fact that it may support a 512-bit bus doesn't mean it will be the same for each variant. I guess we just have to wait and see.